I would completely trade anything in my life for my dogs. They're the constant in my life, and I don't know a single person that would say differently.
I think they complete your world, and I can't imagine life without a dog.
I've always had rescue dogs. They're funny and they're goofy and they're unbelievably forgiving. So when you see dogs that come from unfortunate situations, it's so much easier to just fall in love with them because you know that they're gonna appreciate it in a way that you would never imagine. RezQs is a dog rescue initiative based out of Regina, Saskatchewan that works exclusively with rural communities around the province, and we rescue and rehabilitate stray and unwanted pets from rural communities.
Look at how pretty.
Most often we get messages to our Facebook page that is someone from a community who needs some help. Maybe their dog is sick. Maybe they saw a dog who probably was hit by a car. Maybe their dog had puppies again, and they just don't have the capacity, the resources, or the ability to get what those dogs need to improve their situation. So from a message, it's my job to find a foster home. From there, it's whoever is available first, kind of all hands on deck, and you just jump in the car, you grab the supplies that you need, you take a couple callers, and you make sure you have all of the things that you might need.
So those are the little guys. That's our third litter.
The conditions of the dogs and the puppies vary so much from community to community, from person to person. It's kind of an emotional roller coaster, I think. Like, you drive out and you mentally prepare a little bit for what you think you're going for. You mentally prepare for what you know might happen when you get there, and then you kind of just leave that part of you that's like, well, it could go a totally different direction.
The biggest cases for me are the ones that are injured because they're just being ignored. Bringing those dogs in and seeing them become the most friendly dogs in the world is my favorite part. I've always been an animal lover, so it makes me feel great to know that I am saving these dogs' lives when they have almost zero chance of survival sometimes, and definitely very, very, very minimal rights.
I met Dexter via a phone call saying they accepted me as a foster parent because they said, somebody's got to look after that poor dog. And my daughter said, well, why not you? And I thought, well, why not me? I just retired, and to go from working full-time, nursing, to doing nothing would have killed me.
We needed someone with medical experience. The vet said this dog is literally ripped to shreds. So he had like 50+ puncture wounds from teeth. He had to get 7 tubes put all through his body that are like draining tracts to help him clear infection. And I don't know how to do that. So our goal with Dexter was to find him someone who could do those things.
The first 3 days were kind of a learning process because I've done irrigations of drains on humans, but I had never done it for a dog. So it was kind of busy. By the time he was finished and healed and had 2 rounds of surgery, 6 months had passed, and I was his person. So I just kept him. And he's just so wonderful. He's the sweetest, gentlest, big dog.
I think that you just bond with them differently when they really, really need you. With Dexter, he was a lot of work, and when Eileen kept him, he was already in the best place for him. So I think if someone really wants that, if you get a dog with any special needs, something like an anxiety, even like had a broken bone and they're just not as confident walking, like it's a different level of like, you feel different, you feel really, really amazing about it, and there's a really strong connection.
There wasn't connection. There was just like love and heartbreak at the same time when I met her. I was just so sad that somebody could do that. It just broke my heart.
Arrow came to the rescue because a community member literally saw a dog sitting on the front step of her home with like a bow and arrow through her spine. So I wrapped her in a blanket and I picked her up like as gently and without moving her. And then we got to the vet and they did x-rays and they said, this is the luckiest dog of all time. It didn't hit her through the spine in a way that would paralyze her. She had 3 millimeters away from full paralysis.
Are we gonna clean our teeth or what do we do? Are we? Do you wanna clean your teeth? Toothbrush. There you go. 2 weeks into it, I was like, what did I get myself into? You could not leave her alone for a minute. I had to be with her every minute of the day.
They just really connected. It was a really strong, instant just bond.
She just brought more life into our lives. So yeah, she was part of the family and she gave back way more.
Once you've seen what happens out there, what the dogs are like out there, what kind of things the dogs are subjected to, you can't walk away from it. What started as kind of what could have been a hobby ended up being like, this is a real need out here. The people are not living how they deserve. The dogs are not living how they deserve. And we very quickly decided that this was what we were going to do.
Hi, buddy. Hi. It's okay. So you have moments of frustration and you have moments where you're like carrying 4 puppies and you're like, this is the best. Like, this is the best day. This is what I want to be doing. So then once they're in the car, it's always just like a huge, like a sigh of relief and just a really big, like personal victory. Like you just feel like you did a really great thing today. When you know they're in your care, you already know that like the worst day that they'll ever have has already passed. Running CC Rescues out of our homes is sort of the only way we're able to do it and financially keep doing what we do. So if we don't pay for like an office space or a large facility, we still get to channel 100% of our funds into the dogs. So it's definitely challenging, but it doesn't feel like work, which is good because it's volunteering, but every day is like a super fun, mostly adventure. We did it. Perfect.
We provide a level of support that otherwise was definitely not there. Nobody really pays attention to the dog populations. By helping people with their own personal pets as well, with strays that are out there, we have, in lots of instances, prevented dog attacks, I think, because we've done rescues where we've taken 40 dogs or more at one time. And the reason why we did that is because they're starting to pack up. When they pack up, they start attacking people, you know? So it's kind of saving both parties, I guess, if you could say.
If you decide you want to take 2 tonight, we're just gonna keep the littered ones together.
Okay.
What we'll do is I'll come outside with you and we'll get you some supplies. We're gonna give them some dewormer and then I'll tell you a little bit of info. Our thing is because people are already volunteering to foster, we don't want it to have any financial strain. So we send a fully packed kennel. So, and all of our medical stuff too, like when they go to the vet, like we just obviously incur those costs. So there's actually 0 cost to fostering, which I think makes people more willing, and that's kind of how we're able to keep doing what we do. Okay, guys, be so good. And so they did have dewormer. If you notice anything that looks like spaghetti noodles in their poop, that's normal.
Yep, that's all. Yep.
It's not beautiful, but it's normal. Pick it up, throw it out. Don't eat it. All right, guys, have fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
CC Dog Rescue is amazing. They're not only rescuing animals now, they're trying to prevent more litters by helping out with the spay and neuter programs.
You have to genuinely put yourself out there and be willing to go to communities and just participate. So it's exhausting 98% of the time, but it's rewarding 100% of the time. So it's a trade-off, but it's amazing.
We had a good life before, but it's just added so much more love to our life. And how can you add more? It's like a child. She has totally changed our lives.